Free agency in baseball started back in 1976, and there have been tons of free agent contracts signed ever since. There have been some great ones and some bad ones. For a good example, Max Scherzer is one of the greatest free agent signings of all time, considering he left the Detroit Tigers a Cy Young Award winner and has since won 2 Cy Young Awards to go along with a World Series championship in a Washington Nationals uniform. David Ortiz was another great free agent signing, and Nelson Cruz has been an awesome investment to every team that has ever signed him. With as many great free agent signings as there have been since it officially started back in 1976, there have also been some pretty bad and terrible ones. And in this video, we are going to discuss some of the worst free agent signings in Major League Baseball history. Take a second to like this video, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button for future baseball content. I'm going to start off with Chris Davis of the Baltimore Orioles because it baffles me more and more every single year that they gave this man the years and bread that they did. Davis obviously had a reason as to why he got the contract in the first place. In his first 4 full seasons in Baltimore, Davis put up an OPS north of 800 3 times, north of 900 2 times, and had an OPS of right around 1,000 in 2013. He hit a total of 161 home runs with the Orioles before the contract and was all around one of the biggest feared power hitters in the game of baseball. That was kind of the problem though, in a sense. Chris Davis never really put up a good on-base percentage, even in his elite years. His job, at least in his mind, was to hit home runs, but you need to do a lot more than just that to be an elite all-around good hitter. His slugging was through the roof, of course, but you also need to get on base if you want to have a good trajectory in your career. Nelson Cruz has always been a big power hitter and hits tons of home runs, but he also gets on base at a good rate, and does so consistently. He hits lots of homers, yes, but he doesn't just play that game. He plays to all fields and does what he can to be an all-around good player and hitter. Davis never really did that. With his big, long uppercut swing, he was built to hit homers, at least for the first several years of his career, which is great, but if you want to have a long, successful career, you gotta adjust, and Davis never did. Having the ability to get on base, whether it's via a walk, single, or whatever, is a huge hint that said player will end up still being good in 10 years. Now, that isn't always the case, of course. There are plenty of exceptions, but if you have the ability to just get on base, that's something you could keep for the rest of your career. Hitting homers is great, of course, but as you get older and your bat speed gets slower, you're going to regress and not hit as many home runs. You don't need crazy bat speed at, let's say, 37 years old to get walked a lot and hit singles. The Orioles inked Davis to a 7-year, $161 million deal after the 2015 season, and although Davis was solid in 2016, his first year with the deal, he's been pretty bad since. Ever since 2018, Davis hasn't had an OPS of over 601 and had an OPS of 337 in 16 games during the shortened pandemic 2020 season. The Orioles front office definitely isn't looking so hot right now. Next up is Carl Crawford, the man who basically just robbed the Red Sox of $142 million. Crawford was never even that great of a player before getting that luxurious contract, so I'm not sure what the Red Sox were thinking there. Now, yes, he did have an OPS of 851 the year before he signed with Boston, which is really good, of course. The biggest thing about Crawford in his time with the Devil Rays was his speed, as he stole tons of bases and turned so many singles into doubles and doubles into triples. But other than that, he was mostly just a low 800s, high 700s OPS player, which is totally fine, don't get me wrong. But did he deserve $142 million because of it? I'm going to give you the quick answer to that. Crawford never had an OPS of over 785 in his time with the Red Sox and Dodgers, with it going as low as 464 at one point in 2016, the year where the Dodgers eventually paid him to never play another game for them again. Jacoby Ellsbury. Remember him? Ellsbury had a couple great years in Boston, finishing second in MVP voting in 2011, winning 2 championships in 2007, but being a bigger part of the 2013 run. But just like Crawford, there was really no reason for a team to give him $153 million for 7 years. Boston wasn't very happy to see Ellsbury sign with the rival Yankees in 2014, but I don't think any Red Sox fan is upset about that contract now. Ellsbury peaked in 2014, hitting .271 with 39 steals and a .747 OPS. That was him peaking with the Yankees. But he just ended up averaging a .261 batting average with 21 steals in just 124 games over the next 3 seasons, and get this, missed all of 2018, all of 2019, and 2020 due to injury. Brian Cashman and the New York Yankees could not get rid of him soon enough. Now we get to Pablo Sandoval. Oh, Pablo. Pablo was a big reason as to why the Giants were so successful from 2010 to 2014, winning 3 championships in that span. He currently is the greatest pinch hitter of all time for the Atlanta Braves, but in the middle of these 2 eras in his career, it was a total nightmare, at least for Boston and their fans. After getting $95 million with Boston before the 2015 season, Pablo was out of shape and struggled in his first season in Boston, hitting only .245 with a .658 OPS, and he missed nearly all of his second season with a shoulder injury. The Red Sox finally had it in 2017 when they released him, but still ended up having to pay him almost $20 million a year while he played back with the Giants. In his time with the Red Sox, Pablo Sandoval had his belt pop off after swinging, got suspended by the team for a game because he liked a picture of a woman's breasts on Instagram during a game, and was rumored to drink Coca-Cola in the dugout during games. Yikes. Next and last up for this video, we have Albert Pujols, who was just recently outright released from the Anaheim Angels for how bad he's been with them. Pujols was the best hitter in baseball for about 12 years, hitting well over 300 for the first decade of his career, putting up an OPS of well over 1,000 8 times in his years with the Cardinals, and if it wasn't in the 1000s, it was in the mid to high 900s. And he also hit at least 30 home runs in each of his first 12 seasons in his career. He was flat out ridiculous. After signing with the Angels for $250 million for over 10 years in 2012, he immediately declined at age 32, or at least the age he claimed to be, posting an .859 OPS in his first season and hasn't topped .790 since, as it's only gone downhill from there. Let me know if I should do a part 2 on this topic, and thank you so much for watching.